I do not know what I'm doing when it comes to the bending part. I actually don't know what I'm doing wrong. It is rowdy. Might as well do a little walk around on this beast. One of the projects I have to finish before I move is also this truck. This one's currently being built for a customer of ours. It is rowdy. It's been in the works for a little while. It's getting pretty close to being buttoned up. But where I come in is, this guy is a rancher and he wants a headache rack. So we're gonna build a pretty basic and slick ranch style headache rack. We'll probably do smooth rail tops and then just a kind of a square tubing, kind of up, follow the cab, and then have two little kickers up. And then we'll have two pieces that come down by the slider, and it'll probably be expanded metal with ranch logo. We're also going to do a spare tire mount. We haven't decided if we're gonna do parallel with the bed rail or up against the back rack. But that's what this project is here for. So like I said, hopefully I'll get started on it this next week. Probably jump start it tomorrow morning, get the rails cut and start figuring out those bends. Once I get the basis of it should go pretty quick. So I'm gonna hopefully try to get some of this done in the morning before work and then after work. So a lot of that'll be probably time lapse, but I figured I'd do a walk around while I'm here right now. But that is going to be one sweet truck. It already is a sweet truck, but it's going to be pretty cool. It's after hours, working on the headache rack for that K20. It's upside down, obviously. That'd be a weird shape, but I got the headache rack pretty much all put together. I played around with these bends like 3 different ways. I made them shorter, taller. It took me a minute. I am not a professional. I do not know what I'm doing when it comes to the bending part. We have a pretty basic bender here. I just put it in there where I think it's going to bend or where it needs to be bent, and I go for it. And it took a few tries, but when I got this one all tacked together, I set it up there, and as soon as I stood back and saw it, I was like, yep, that's the ranch truck, simple headache rack that we're going for. Now, this is cooling. I welded everything all together. I cut out a couple little caps for the top part here. I designed some little end caps, or not end caps, but gussets for when I weld this head unit onto the side rails. There's going to be 2 little gussets on the side. So I'm going to cut those out now while those little caps are cooling. Once the caps are cool, I'll weld them in, and then overnight I'll let it all cool down. I'll come in the morning and I'll smooth it all out. But I'm going to use the old plasma table here. Just got to hit start, and this thing does all the work. Gusset done. This thing comes in handy. I'm also not a professional at this at all, so if I'm doing something wrong, I actually don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have kind of self-taught myself how to do this. I probably design it more complicated than it needs to be, but I have fun. This thing is fun to use and fun to learn how to use it. It's super outdated. Like, this thing had floppy disks for install. The computer requirements for this table was like in the megabytes, not even gigs for a computer. Ran on Windows 98. So we're gonna take this fancy pants piece here. This would have taken me like 10 minutes to make by hand. Anyway, I know it's upside down, but you get the gist. The expanded metal I did countersink in. We're going to be bolting a logo, ranch logo in here. So I wanted to countersink it. If you're looking at the side of the headache rack, these are going to go like that. Get these little end caps welded up here. I'm gonna have to countersink them in, but weld those on and then let this head unit cool, and I'll get the rails kind of clamped down where they're gonna sit, so that way I can get this piece up on there, center it up, and tack it in place on the truck. Not a crazy design, it's very simple. I kind of dig it, not gonna lie. I think it'll look pretty cool when it's all said and done, painted and whatnot, but that's what we're doing today. All right, we're pretty well wrapped up on this headache rack for this K20. I got the ranch logos cut out, and they are basically just studs sticking through the mesh. He wanted to have ranch logos on each side, so I cut out his logo. And then after they get powder coated and we set the tire up in there, we'll figure out the placement on those, but he can pretty much put them where he wants. I wish I would have got a better video, but I noticed I didn't. There is going to be a spare tire. There is going to be a spare tire right here. That's the mount for it right there. There's going to be a standing spare tire and a toolbox, chest toolbox, that goes on the right side of the bed. Again, we'll put those in when it gets back from powder coat, but this thing is now ready to go get powder coated. It is going to get powder coated white, and then the ranch logos will be powder coated similar blue to what this blue is. So that's the plan anyway. I cannot wait to see this thing done. That headache rack fits the truck perfectly and definitely fits the guy that owns it. It's gonna be exciting when this thing gets done, and I know he is more anxious for it to get done than I am, but it is a very cool truck. I can't wait to see this thing on the road pulling trailers. It's definitely going to be turning some heads. But that's all I can do to this thing. My part is done. On to the next person. So we'll see you later.